اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب قلوب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك يا مولاي وابن مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا مصباح الهدى وسفينة النجاة ويا عبرة المؤمنين، غريب مظلوم عطشان شهيد كربلاء، ويا مسلوب العمامة والرداء، ما خاب والله من تمسك بكم، أمن من لجأ والتجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال الله في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Blessing this gathering with the remembrance of Muhammad and Al Muhammad. A louder salawat for the love of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. A third salawat for the hastening of the reappearance of our Mawla Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. May our souls be sacrificed to him. My dear loved ones, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A recent University of California Riverside research study found that on average, people spend 52 minutes a day in ghiba. 52 minutes a day, almost an hour of their day they spent in gossip, in spreading rumors, in ghiba. This research study also found that women were more likely to engage in gossip and ghiba, and young adults were also more likely to engage in ghiba than their older counterparts, engage in gossip. Now, we know that gossip and ghiba and spreading rumors is haram, obviously. But the conclusion of this study found that almost all demographics and people in some way, shape, or form, either less or more so, they engage in gossip at one part of the week, one part of the day. So why is it that we continue to engage in something like ghiba and gossip and spreading rumors and attacking people's reputation? What are we supposed to do if we are not engaging in ghiba, but we hear it happen? We hear it occur. We hear gossip happening. And finally, how can we protect ourselves from becoming victim to ghiba, or what can we do if our reputation is attacked? You see, my dear loved ones, if you look into the dictionary for the definition of a rumor, you find that the secular definition is that it's an unsubstantiated story or report that has no concrete evidence to it, right? Someone at work comes and tells you that they saw the cashier taking some cash today. You ask, how do you know? Well, I have a feeling. Do you have evidence? No, it's just, I have a feeling. And now this rumor is spreading in the workplace that this individual, when he's a cashier, he takes some of that cash. That's a rumor. But ghiba is different than simply a rumor, because ghiba can be sometimes true and it can be sometimes misinformation as well. Ghiba is when you expose other people's flaws even if they are true. For example, you know someone within the community has a hard time with honesty, has trouble being honest. And multiple times you experience their dishonesty. You have concrete proof that they've been dishonest in the past. And you go out and you're sitting in a gathering of some sorts, and someone brings up that individual's name, and you say, oh, this guy is dishonest, this guy's a liar, this guy's this, that. That's ghiba. Although it's true, it's wrong. You're not supposed to mention the flaws of others while they are not there. That's ghiba, my dear loved ones. Ghiba is also misinformation. Sometimes you spread information that is not correct, and you have no intention to deceive or harm or ruin someone's reputation, but you're misinformed. For example, a young lady in the community, there's a rumor spread about her that she lost her job. So you try to get to the bottom of this rumor. You see who started it, who's spreading it. You go and ask someone, and you try to get to the bottom of it. He says, yeah, my cousin told me, so I know for sure. My cousin told me that she lost her job. How does your cousin know? Well, my cousin works in the adjacent building as this young lady. And mind you, you know this young lady, she's professional, she worked hard, she got a good degree, she's doing well in her professional life, so it's a bit unusual to you. You want to do some digging. He tells you, my cousin saw her one day, and it was in the middle of the day. It wasn't time to leave work. She exited the office with a box of some of her belongings. It seemed like some of her belongings, and she was crying and leaving in the office. So obviously that means she lost her job. And you say that's your proof, that's your evidence. So this person is misinformed. He doesn't have the full picture of what's going on, and he goes and spreads this story. That's misinformation. That's still ghiba. You're still engaging in harmful behavior, my dear loved ones. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam he paints the disgusting, ugly reality of ghiba. He says, الغيبة أسرع في دين الرجل المسلم من الآكلة في جوفه. Ghiba is quicker to decompose a person's iman physically, his body, and his spiritual iman than if a parasite was to live in his body and decompose his body. Now, we have to let that sink in of how damaging ghiba can be. And sometimes we might not even realize that we're engaging in it. But we don't do our digging. We don't do our fair share and our homework before we go out and start speaking on other people's lives. We have another form of rumors that is namima. And namima is even worse than ghiba. Can someone tell me what namima is? Does anyone know what namima is? Namima is when you completely make something up. It has no truth to it. So ghiba could be true, right? Somebody is having trouble being honest in the community, and you go and expose that. This person is dishonest. Namima is a step above that. It's completely making something up, completely fabricating something, right? You go out and you tell people that this individual has, for example, a gambling problem. You totally make that up. It's not true. And you go and tell people that, and you tarnish this person's reputation in the community. That is a form of disinformation. You have a mission in order to spread false information into the community. That's namima, and that's even worse than ghiba, my dear loved ones. There are different kinds of rumors, different kinds of namima, different kinds of ghiba, and there are specialists, there are doctors, there are psychologists, psychiatrists that study the behavior of humans when it comes to spreading rumors, what kind of rumors they spread. And I've chosen to share a couple of those with you to better clarify the picture. There's something called a wish rumor. A wish rumor is what people spread when they desire something specific. They wish something within themselves, so they spread a rumor in order to normalize that. Let's say someone within the community wants to marry a second wife, right? He wants to go out and marry a second wife. So he goes and tells everyone, by the way, you know my friend Ali, he married a second wife. And they start to ask him, who was she? How did he meet her? They don't think it's bad. They think it's something cool, right? It makes him manly. And he wishes that he can do it. So he wants to normalize the behavior by spreading a rumor that Ali did that. And he doesn't think it's bad either. He doesn't think this is going to harm Ali's reputation. Now all the brothers are excited for Ali. They're happy for Ali. But it's completely false. That's ghiba. That's ghiba. A young lady, she wants to go on luxurious travels. She wants to belong to a wealthy family, for example, have nice cars, and whatever it may be, a lot of followers on Instagram. So she spreads a rumor about one of her friends that, by the way, she belongs to a very wealthy family of developers. They're billionaires. We always go on travels with her, and she's posting pictures on Instagram and what have you, and it's all false. It's all ghiba. She doesn't think that she's going to harm this young lady by doing that. She thinks people are going to think she's cool and awesome, right? But that's ghiba. That's what you call a wish rumor. We have something called a wedge driving rumor. A rumor that drives a wedge in a group of people. It spreads fitna. It causes division amongst people. And that's basically described. I'll give you an example of that. One day, I was on a volunteer committee for a Muslim organization, and this organization had a mix of people from different schools of thought. And I was approached by a young lady. She came and asked me, she said, "Are you Shia?" I said, "Alhamdulillah, I'm Shia, yes." And she said, "I have some questions to ask you, because I've heard strange things about you." She said, "I heard you worship Ali ibn Abi Talib. I heard you have a different Kaaba, different Qibla. It's to Karbala, it's not the Kaaba. I heard you have a different Quran and you worship stones and so on and so forth." I told her, "My dear sister, have a seat, first of all." In a calm manner, I asked her, "Where did you hear that, first of all?" She said, "My parents, my grandparents." Now, I sat her down, I explained to her everything in clarity, and she was misinformed. She simply was misinformed. She didn't have a specific problem with me personally. She just didn't know. And you see, these rumors, sometimes they're created to cause a fitna. They're not even created by Muslims most of the time. You see, there's large empires, there's political factions, specific groups of people that want to control the Muslim population. So they create these kind of fitnas amongst Muslims. They create wedge-driving rumors. Another kind of rumor, my dear loved ones, is a scare rumor. A rumor that is created to scare people, to create panic in a population. You see that mostly occur with politicians. Politicians, when they want to control people, they make them scared. They make them afraid. They feed onto that fear, and they create rumors. The battle of Nahrawan was based on a rumor. There was a rumor spread by Amr ibn al-As that, so to give you more of a background, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he alluded to some of the battles Amir al-Mu'mineen would fight against Muawiyah and others. And he said that there would be a certain battle and there would be a character, a person named the Thidya. The Thidya was a specific character. It's not his name, it's a nickname. And he described him physically. He explained how he looked. And he said the army who would kill this individual, the Thidya, they're the army that belongs to Haqq. The army that belongs to the correct side. So Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam in the battle of Nahrawan, he focused on finding the Thidya. He took an excruciating amount of time to turn over every body and look and try to find the Thidya. And he found the Thidya, and the word got out that the army of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam found the Thidya and they killed him. And Amr ibn al-As, he conspired with Muawiyah. He said, we can't have this occur. So he conspired with Muawiyah, and his relationship with Muawiyah was one of when was Muawiyah useful to him. He wasn't truly paying his allegiance to him, but he benefited Amr ibn al-As. So he spread a lie that, in fact, he killed the Thidya in Egypt. You can look into this. So, what do we take from this? An entire war was fought based on a rumor. This was a sliver of ghiba. But this ghiba was more grand on scale than the ghiba you might experience in your day-to-day lives. That doesn't mean that a small amount of ghiba would not be destructive to individuals' reputations, to individuals' character, my dear loved ones. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There's a specific reason why rumors are spread, why ghiba occurs, why namima occurs. It's not for no reason. It doesn't come out of thin air, right? And Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he explains this beautifully in Nahj al-Balagha. He gives a life lesson for how humans interact with each other. It's truly golden what he says. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, من أسرع إلى الناس بما يكرهون قالوا فيه ما لا يعلمون. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam is saying that if you are quick to go and expose the flaws of others, you expose the flaws in others that they don't enjoy about themselves. They might even be trying to fix those flaws. They want to do better. And you pursue those flaws as if it's your job to go and expose everyone's sins and flaws in the community. Those individuals, to protect their own reputation, they'll expose your flaws even if it means they make things up about you that are not true, to protect their reputation. This is a very logical explanation to why rumors might occur. And this is actually proven by science. A University of Illinois research study found that people are likely to engage in something called blame shifting, especially those who are in the public eye, politicians, people that are big CEOs, people that engage in mass media, whatever it may be, celebrities. If they anticipate that they might get into trouble for something, and they have the opportunity to shift that blame of what they did wrong onto someone else, they will do so. And not only people of high status, also they found that people that belonged to cultures that placed a high emphasis on reputation, right? Reputation is everything in some cultures. They were more likely to engage in blame shifting. I'll give you an example. A young lady, She finds out, unfortunately, that her husband is engaging in infidelity, which is something terrible, right? It's not something I condone. But what she engages in is going to be much worse. She goes and exposes him to the entire community. Do you know what my husband did? This is what he did. X, Y, Z. And she destroys his image. She completely makes him feel tiny in front of everybody in the community. She renders him to feel useless. Whatever humility he had, whatever pride he had, she completely washes it away. What is he going to do? How will he react? He's going to defend himself. He'll try. He's going to go and tell people, well, you don't know how bad she was. Let me tell you what she did. And he might even make things up just to defend himself. You see, my dear loved ones, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam explained this to us. You don't need scientists to tell you. If it satisfies you, go read a University of Illinois research study. You want to tell your friends, go use that as a source. But Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam tells us this, my dear loved ones. We have to understand why rumors are spread. Certain individuals want to gain fame. They want to gain likes, for example, on social media. So they spread lies for likes. Right now, if you have something that is exclusive, something people don't know about, something that makes you unique from everyone else, that's going to create a large platform for you, right? A large following for you. And in order to create that large platform, you might go out and spread lies about people, even if they're celebrities, even if they're people you don't know. It's still ghiba, it's still wrong, it's still namima, my dear loved ones. And if you go out and try to expose the flaws of others, they're going to come after you. Your flaws will be exposed. One of the greatest potential factors that motivates people to spread lies and rumors and engage in ghiba and namima is jealousy. Jealousy and envy and lack of self-confidence. When you feel that you're in a constant competition with others, you can't feel happy for them when you see them do good for themselves. When they're successful, there has to be a grand explanation why this person got a better grade than me in school. I got an 85, he got a 95, he probably cheated on the test. He probably had an answer key. I can't find it within me to feel that he did better than me simply by hard work. Young ladies deal with this a lot, where rumors are spread about them simply because, for example, another young lady feels envious of her for some reason or the other. You see, for example, a woman in the community, an aunt, goes and asks a young lady to get to know her son for marriage. And that young lady, she respectfully declines. She says, I'm not interested. It might not be her son's fault. She's just not interested. But she can't handle that. She can't take that. So she goes in the community and spreads lies and says, yeah, this young lady, it wasn't my son's fault. It wasn't. And even if it's really not her son's fault, but she creates up lies and nonsense and totally tarnishes this young lady's image in the community and harms this young lady's reputation because she has a personal vendetta for her. Envy, jealousy. You see, we have a direct responsibility, my dear loved ones, when we hear someone spreading rumors. If we're not the person engaging, wal-ayadu billah, we're all mu'mineen here, you are all mu'mineen attending the majalis of Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, you will not spread rumors, but you might encounter someone who is. You might encounter someone who's engaging in ghiba. We have a direct responsibility in how we may react. Al-Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam he explains ghiba. He says ghiba is when you speak on your brother and you expose his flaws on what may be true. Right? That's ghiba. And if you speak about him on what is not true, that's namima and that's buhtan, that's defamation. You're making something up. And those are extremely grave sins. It's like eating the flesh of your loved one. It's something no one wants to engage in, right? That's a deadly image. Now, the Imam also goes on to say that the person who's present while ghiba is occurring, it's as if he's also engaging in that. If you sit and you hear one of the mu'mineen's honor being desecrated, their reputation being challenged, someone is spreading lies or rumors, or even it might be true, but they're exposing that person's flaws. You have a responsibility to say, you know what, you need to stop this. If you can't do it with your words, at least give them a dirty look. Look into their eyes. Make them feel uncomfortable. Get up, leave the room. Allow them to understand what they're doing is wrong. If you're sitting at a table that is engaging in ghiba, my dear loved ones, once you get up off that table, you're going to be the next subject of ghiba. Understand that. That's how people operate that engage in ghiba, my dear loved ones. So you have an objective to protect your honor and the honor of the mu'mineen. You can't sit around and allow people to destroy others' reputations, their careers, their livelihoods. If you stand up for that person, then you are given extreme forgiveness, extreme maghfirah, the Imam says. And it takes courage. I know that. It takes courage. It's not easy, especially if you feel like you're going to be alienated. A group of friends, they're all engaging in ghiba, and you stand up and say, you guys are wrong. Yeah, they might say, you know what, we're not going to chill with this guy anymore. He wants to come and be a negative Nancy, right? Well, so what? If you have a mu'min as a friend, one mu'min as a friend, my dear loved ones, if you part ways, that mu'min is not going to desecrate your honor. If you get into a disagreement and you part ways and you're no longer friends, that mu'min is not going to spread ghiba about you, backbite you, defame your honor, expose your flaws. But a regular person, and even if you have 10, 100 regular friends that are not mu'mineen, the moment that there's a small disagreement and you part ways, I promise you, there's not going to be a single ounce of decency left in their heart that is going to protect your honor, that is going to protect your personality, your character. The amount of friends is not important. It's the quality of the friend you have. You understand? That's what truly matters, because a mu'min is who you can count on when times are tough. A mu'min is who you can count on when you're struggling. Even if you're struggling within your spirituality, your faith, a mu'min is going to take your hand and lead you to the right path. But a person who's not a mu'min, they might even egg you on. They might even give you confidence in that sin. They might allow you to fall deeper in that trap and make you feel like it's normal, it's fine. There's no problem with that. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he explains to us how we can dispel a rumor. If there's a rumor, if there's ghiba, if there's namima, there's a specific guideline, a way, a path that the Imam gives us in order to reach the truth. The Imam says, وَإِنَّمَا He says, the translation is that the Imam says that rumors and gossip, on the surface, they seem true. إِنَّمَا سُمِّيَتِ الشُّبْهَةِ شُبْهَةً لَأَنَّهَا تَشْبِهُ الْحَقِّ. He says that rumors and gossip and ghiba, they seem true on the surface. When you don't do your digging, when you don't think about it too much, they seem true. But he explains, he says the awliya of Allah, the mu'mineen, they have a specific way of going about finding out the truth. They are illuminated towards the true path by pursuing yaqeen, the truth within a rumor. They pursue yaqeen in order to dispel that rumor. Yaqeen is when you have concrete, solid, undeniable evidence of something. That's yaqeen. When you know 100% with facts something is true. You go outside, the sun is out, you know it's daytime. You have yaqeen, it's daytime. If someone comes and tells you it's nighttime, you know that's not true. If you want to get up and pray and you start to question yourself, if you've done wudu, right? And you question yourself and you question yourself, and you have no concrete knowledge, no proof that you've done wudu, you don't have yaqeen. You have to go and repeat your wudu in order to do your salah, right? When you're encountering a rumor or ghiba or namima, you have to pursue yaqeen, my dear loved ones. That yaqeen is pursuing concrete evidence. You go to the person, you first of all see if they're trustworthy. Is this person a mu'min? Is this person a fasiq? Is this person trustworthy in the community? You go ask people about him. If he's not a trustworthy individual, that's a rumor. Don't take that into consideration. At least don't be part of who spreads it, and stop it where it occurs. If you hear it, say, stop. You have no evidence. Where's your evidence? Don't continue spreading these lies, this nonsense. And he explains how the enemies of Allah engage in rumors. He says that their claims are those of misguidance. They're not on the right path. And they don't pursue yaqeen. And their proof, their dalil, is intellectual blindness. My dear loved ones, this what I'm saying requires deep thought. It might be difficult to understand. I'll make it more clear after a loud salawat. You see, when you're blinded intellectually, your intellect is blindness, you're led by your character. You're led by your emotion. You let your emotion get the best of you, and you allow your emotion to lead you into your situation. So, someone comes to you and tells you, this guy is engaging in fraud in his business. And you say, and maybe you don't have an affinity towards this person. You might not like him that much. So you say, I knew it. This guy, I always had a feeling about this guy. And you allow your emotions quickly to get the best of you. You don't even do your part in digging and trying to find out if it's true or not. You play into that false narrative you've constructed for yourself based on your emotions. That's intellectual blindness. That's how the enemies of Allah encounter ghiba and namima. And that's not how we want to pursue rumors and how we want to pursue attacks on people's reputation. Now, what happens if we are the victims of rumors? How can we go about defending our reputation, and how is it that we can even mitigate that from happening? First of all, don't engage in spreading rumors yourself. If you don't want people to spread rumors about you, don't spread rumors yourself. Don't engage in ghiba and namima and backbiting yourself. That's the first point that you have to follow. Secondly, you have to veil the sins of your brethren. Satr al-uyub. You have to veil the sins of your brethren, the flaws of your brethren. If you know your community member, your brother, your loved one is engaging in a sin, pull them aside secretly, alone, in a room by yourself, and speak to them. You know someone has trouble with salah, you don't just enter the majlis in front of everyone and say, hey, why don't you pray on time? Hey, why is it that you pray one day and you miss 10 days of prayer? Is that a way to go about it? What have you done to this individual? You've destroyed him. He has no reputation anymore. He's known as that guy that doesn't pray. Now he has no motivation to even pursue becoming someone who takes his prayer seriously. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, من من نصح أخاه سرا فقد زانه ومن نصح أخاه علنا فقد شانه. He says, if you want to make your brother seem ugly in front of society, in front of the community, give him advice in public, in front of everybody else. And if you want to beautify him, if you want to make him beautiful in his iman, give him advice in secret. Pull him aside. Sit in an intimate setting by himself, not in front of everyone. That's called embarrassing him. That's exposing him. You have to also keep good company, my dear loved ones, and this is what we spoke about earlier. You have to keep good company, mu'mineen. You have to have friends that are mu'mineen, that are fearing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you see, Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he knew how to choose his company. He knew how to choose his Ansar. His Ansar were the greatest Ansar of all, any Ansar known to man. Greater than the apostles of Jesus, greater than the disciples of Jesus, greater than any of the Ansar known to man, the Ansar of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. The night before Ashura, Al-Imam al-Hussein goes out into the desert of Karbala. He's going out into the desert, and one of his companions follows him. His name is Nafi'. Nafi' follows him into the desert. He's scared. He knows Bani Umayyah are cowards. He doesn't want the Imam to go out with this beautiful imamah, with this nur, by himself in the time of night. He doesn't know what Bani Umayyah might do to him. He goes and he keeps a safe distance between the Imam to keep guard of the Imam. And the Imam quickly realizes there are footsteps behind him. He looks behind him, he sees Nafi'. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. He tells him, Nafi', what do you want in this time of night? What are you doing out here? He tells him, Yabna Rasulullah, I'm scared for you. Bani Umayyah are cowards. I want to protect you. I don't want you to walk around the campgrounds at night in the desert. I want to protect you. He tells him, Nafi', it's only you and I right now. And the nighttime has given you a veil. Leave, go. Go away. The enemies, they only want me. They want my soul. They don't want you. He tells him about Abdullah, where should I go? For what? He tells him, so you can live. He tells him, قَبَّحَ اللَّهُ الْعَيْشِ بَعْدَكَ يَا أَبَا Abdullah. May Allah curse this dunya after you. How much do I want to live? 10 years, 15 years? After you, living without you in this dunya? I don't want a life like that. They walk back towards the campgrounds. Abu Abdullah tells him, this is the camp of my sister Zainab. Let me enter the camp and let me say salam to her. Tomorrow is Ashura. Let me speak to Zainab. He enters the camp of Zainab. Sayyida Zainab, she sees him with his imama, with his nur. Assalamu alayka ya akhi ya Aba Abdullah. Please have a seat. You're our honor. You're our father. You're all we have. You remind me of Ali ibn Abi Talib, of my father, of Rasulullah. When I look into your face, I see nur. I feel relaxed. Please have a seat. Please relax. Please spend some moments with me. Nafi' is hearing the conversation he's having with his sister. She tells him, Aba Abdullah, I fear for you. Tomorrow is Ashura. Have you spoken to your comrades? Have you spoken to your people? I'm afraid they might leave you like the Kufans left you. Nafi' hears this. He feels uneasy. Immediately he leaves the camp. He goes into the camp of the Ansar. He sees it's like a beehive. This man is praying Salatul Layl. This man is reading Quran. This man is in sujood. This man is in ruku'. They're all engaged in ibadah. He goes to Habib, Shaykh al-Ansar. He goes and tells Habib, this is what's going on. As-Sayyida Zainab feels uneasy. We have to go pay our allegiance. We have to go and speak to Zainab outside her camp. What does Habib do? He calls the companions. He tells them, O Ansar of Aba Abdullah, gather around, rise, it's time. It's time for you to assist Aba Abdullah In a few seconds, he sees the entire campground is full of men. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas quickly comes to the call of Habib ibn Madahir with the Hashemites, with Ali al-Akbar and the rest of Banu Hashim. They stand. They tell him, what do you want, Shaykhana Habib? He tells them, Bani Hashim, you can leave. I don't need anything from you. I don't need anything from you. I'm not scared of you. I'm scared about my Ansar. I need to speak with them. He tells them, we need to go and gather outside the tent of Zainab al-Kubra. We have to go give her our salam, give her our allegiance so she can feel relaxed. They go outside the tent of Zainab. They go, and Habib says, Assalamu alaykum ya ahl bayt al-nubuwah wa mawdi' al-risala wa mukhtalif al-malaika. Assalamu alaykum ya awlad Rasulullah. They say, wa alayka salam. She says, wa alayka salam. Who is this? I'm Habib ibn Madahir. They all make a commotion. They pledge their allegiance to Zainab al-Kubra. They tell her, we won't leave you, O Zainab. She goes, she tells Ali al-Akbar, she tells him, go and get this chest. She grabs the chest, she opens it. She puts on the aba of her mother, Fatima al-Zahra. She wants to go and say salam to the companions of Abu Abdullah. She wears the aba of Fatima al-Zahra. She walks out, she speaks to them. They see her, they see the aba of Fatima al-Zahra. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. She tells them, please, please don't leave my brother Hussein tomorrow by himself. O Ansar, O Habib, make sure you don't come short in aiding my brother Abu Abdullah. Allahu Akbar. There's one of the Ansar, he was a Christian. This man, he came to the caravan of Abu Abdullah, and he told his mother, I want to fight amongst this man's army. She tells him, go. When I look into his eyes, I see the nur of the prophets. I know this is the descendant of Isa, of Musa, of Nuh. Allahu Akbar. But his wife is not happy. His wife is not happy when he goes out to battle. He goes out and he hears someone say, don't have any shortcoming, don't come short in aiding the son of Rasulullah. He hears the voice of a woman, he knows it's not his mother. He looks back, he sees his wife, he tells her, you just told me not to go, not to fight, what has changed? She tells him, I looked at a Sayyid Zainab wearing the aba of Fatima al-Zahra. I saw those orphans, I saw those widows. And I kept hearing Abu Abdullah say, هل من ناصر ينصرنا? Is there anyone to help us, to aid us? إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. My dear loved ones, raise your hands in dua. اللهم نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا Allah. Oh Allah, those of us who are dealing with mental illnesses, physical illnesses, cancer, diabetes, whatever it may be, oh Allah, grant them full shifa and recovery. Oh Allah, grant us the shafa'ah of Abu Abdullah. Oh Allah, grant us the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah. Oh Allah, allow us to continue to be the khuddam of Abu Abdullah. My dear loved ones, please rise to recite dua al-faraj for the hastening of the reappearance of our Mawla. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma kun li waliyika al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. Salawatuka alayhi wa ala aba'ih fi hadhihi as-sa'a wa fi kulli sa'a. وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلوات.